Present. Hey, everybody, we're getting started. We're just talking about registration stuff. So, Christine's got a new setup, and the registration link is good to use because then what it does, it helps me track people who are interested, and then it helps me reach out to more people that are interested and, see where people are at and yeah, just help more and more people, hopefully. So
They don't miss
here
me
we
there.
are. If you're wondering, why am I registering every time? It's all, I have this online boss. His name's Paul, and I just do what he says, mostly.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay, so tonight I've actually have a whole bunch of questions from wholesaling because the last week I was having several conversations about wholesaling. So I just wanted to answer really the biggest question. And Danusia, do you have any questions before we get started? Are you good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you're good to go.
Hmm.
So wholesaling, very interesting. What was kind of the topic was, hey, should I spend money on Facebook ads and try to run a motivated seller campaign or or should I try something else? Which direction should I go? And as much as I would love to have Facebook campaigns go and work for folks, they can, according to my mentor in this, who is Paul, they can be really tricky. And if you're just starting out in wholesaling or real estate in general, but if you're kind of specifically targeting people who are motivated sellers, then the best thing you can do is the stuff that's not all that glamorous.
Mm.
And and so what am I trying to say here? I want you to keep in mind, I get a lot of motivated sellers come across my desk because I've been investing in real estate since 2001. Uh, at one, and I, so there, it was a lot. And when I started, I was taking courses like crazy, coaching like crazy, belonged to a networking group, the RAIN group, did all the things that I learned, like sandwich board signs and motivated and pull tab signs and things that I'm going to talk about. Did a ton of legwork. Really, it went to every networking event I possibly could. And fast forward a few years, then I lost everything. Built up this massive, impressive, whoa, holy smokes business, multimillionaire, set for life, and it all fell apart. Wheels fell off the wagon. Lost everything. So went through bankruptcy, went through foreclosure, and then, went through all that and then started talking about it. And so I have a very unique situation. That said, I have a very unique situation now, especially because I've gone through just lots of adventure. And so it's a huge advantage. And at the same time, I started out the same way I recommend everybody start out. So the question was, because some people don't have a lot of time, okay? And I get that. Time can be a struggle, especially with all the distractions that we have today. We did not have those distractions in 2001. Like I lived on a acreage outside of a very, very small town, gravel roads, dial-up internet that took forever. We couldn't even watch, well, there wasn't Netflix. I think, yeah, there was Netflix. Where you had to go online, which we could barely do, and you can order CDs to come to your mail. We didn't do that. It just took too long. Anyway, that was like it for distractions. So I sympathize with people. It is tough. to find the time. And I mean, you just got to pick your tough. Like, is your tough going to be where you're at today and you're still there in 5 years? Because for a lot of folks, especially a lot of folks that I talk to, that's tough. Or is your tough going to be some of these things that I'm going to suggest that you do, even though you don't have that much time? At the end of the day, we all have the same 24 hours. And what I did at the time, I didn't have any children. Now I have five. And they are all, flying the coop, one little birdie at a time. Actually, I have a birdie back. She's pregnant with another little baby birdie. I'm going to be a grandma. And I've got my birdie's husband. So we're actually adding people. But that's beside the point. Um, at the time, I was working full time as a physical therapist. I looked at property in the newspaper at lunch and I made phone calls. There was no texting. There wasn't even texting. I made phone calls from the little office. I remember the white phone with the coily thing and, making phone calls to sellers. And it took forever to find anything. And I looked at 100 deals. I drove from my little town outside of Edmonton into Edmonton. It was at least an hour each way, no matter where I went. If I had to go up to Beverly, or Clairview, which is up in the northeast for all of you Edmonton people, it was an hour and a half both ways. So that's 3 hours of driving to look at one property. So that's what we decided to do because I'll tell you what our hard was. Okay, I can only speak from my experience right now. I can talk about people that I work with and stuff like that, but our hard was Jeff, my husband, worked 80 hours a week all year round. And he went to a real estate investment a rain meeting, met Arlen Dolan, and phoned me on the way home and said, "We got to invest in real estate because I work so much. I I don't know a way out of this, but it sounds like real estate might help." And then we were off to the races. Okay. But he worked 80 hours a week. So I had to help out. Like, and that turned into a blessing because I had more time than he had. I had lunches, I had weekends. He didn't have lunches, he didn't have weekends, he didn't have evenings, he didn't have nothing. He would go to the rain meetings and he'd come home and tell me what to do. I didn't even go to the rain meetings for like, I don't know, 2 years. And so he'd come home, tell me what to do. I'd go and I'd try it. I'd fail miserably. I'd trip over my words. I'd make appointments. People wouldn't show up. I'd get the wrong address. I mean, all kinds of just tripping over myself. So just, I don't know, maybe somebody needed to hear that today. Um, I do know that one of the best ways to get started in real estate is to find motivated sellers because if you find a motivated sellers, then you probably have options when it comes to you could buy it as a lease option if it's over leveraged. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then just make an appointment with me. We'll go through it. Okay. There, my link is around here somewhere for you to schedule with me. If a property is free and clear, but it's in terrible condition and nobody wants to show it, or maybe they hate realtors and they're scared of realtors or whatever it is, or they're embarrassed. A lot of times people are in difficult circumstances, but you can create a win-win and help somebody through a tough situation. Those kinds of opportunities are really great for wholesaling, and that's where you get a property under contract and you just basically sell the contract to usually an investor, somebody that wants to buy it, renovate it, maybe rent it, refinance, do a BRRRR, or buy it, renovate it, just rent it out, or buy it, renovate it, and sell it. So there's all kinds of flippers out there, and they can't possibly do all of the things that they're doing and find deals at the same time. It's tough. So that's where somebody, like you can come in. And so it brings me back to the wholesale course because I've been, you know, speaking with some people this week about wholesaling and how they want to do wholesaling, but they do have a limited amount of time. So it was like, okay, maybe we should do Facebook ads. And my coach, Paul Duncan, who is a very, very good very, very good online marketer, he and I were just like, okay, is this the right direction to go? And it actually wasn't. I don't recommend you start with Facebook ads. Start with some of the unglamorous sweat equity, tougher stuff. So the first thing I recommend, and this is again in the wholesale course, and I'm going to go to the wholesale course, and I'm going to show you, it's particularly session 3, some of the things that we go over. And if you're interested in this wholesaling course, then you need to reach out to me or anything else. Just if you have questions, if you want to bounce some ideas off of me, get a hold of me. My link is around here somewhere, right? Just the other day, I just had a brainstorming talk with somebody and just try to kind of set them in the right direction. Off they went. And we didn't do coaching. They didn't buy anything. I didn't even try to sell them anything. I won't try to offer you anything unless I have something that is really, really valuable to you. Okay, so I promise you that. Now, first thing you can do, one really cheap option when it comes to wholesaling is you can do flyers. This is something that Brendan Skilton Douglas, the co-creator of the wholesaling course that I have, he still does it. He's been a full-time professional wholesaler for the past decade, and he still does flyering. And the way that he does it, he doesn't put them in a backpack and go around door to door on his own. He pays high school kids. And what he does is he says, here's the farm area. The farm area means this is where I want to be looking for properties. I need you to go door to door and put these flyers in mailboxes on people and in people's doors. And that's what these high school kids do. And he pays them anywhere between $10 and $20 an hour. And then on top of that, he buys the flyers. Okay, so he's delegated the legwork to hungry high school students. My high school student, Cody, who is 16 right now, just started working construction and he got $80 cash and it was like he died and went to heaven. Okay. And that was from 4 hours of work. So, there are people out there that are willing to help you. Now, you may have trouble sometimes. Somebody might, um, there's a level of trust that you have to have, okay? But if you have 1,000, a thousand flyers is a lot, but if you have 1,000 flyers and you have, handful of high school students, let's say 5 high school students, and they each put a flyer on 200 houses, and you get one deal, like that could be major. That could be absolutely major for you. So keep that in mind. If you do that once a month, it could really snowball. So that is a fairly cheap, economical, and also a great way to just delegate it to somebody else. Or do it yourself. Make a, or just like, that's what Brendan used to do. He just did it himself. That's what I used to do. I was like, pregnant with my third, I remember. And no, it was my second. It was my second. And I was out putting up sandwich board signs, heavy sandwich board signs on street corners in Edmonton, and they were ugly as hell. And I remember being out there in the snow, putting up sandwich board signs and thinking to myself, this is crazy. And then about 3 days later, I got a phone call from one of the, somebody that I had been, he'd been a seller to me. And he's like, thank God I found your sandwich board. Thank God I passed your sandwich board sign because I lost my phone. I lost your contact. I had no idea how to get a hold of you. And he called me and I bought like 4 deals from him that year. So you just never know what's going to happen. So that's sandwich board signs, but they're not cheap and it is labor intensive and the city's going to take them. They're going to take some of them. And if they're made out of plywood, like there's a whole construction thing that you've got to do. So it's going to take time. They're going to be heavy. You might end up losing 5 or all of them. And on top of that, you could get in trouble with the city with like bylaw, which could be expensive and annoying and all of the things have people call and yell at you for being a scumbag because you just want to take advantage of people. When that's not the case. I know that, you know that. But that's something else that you can do. It's not exactly cheap, but it's that outside signs work phenomenally. You just never know when somebody is sitting at a stoplight having a really bad day, just lost their job, not sure what they're going to do, but they could go back to Nova Scotia and live with mom and dad, but what the hell am I going to do with this house? You just never know when you can position yourself to help somebody. So, sandwich board signs, uh, bandit signs. We have a whole bandit sign course, and it's not bandit signs are not very expensive, but they are ugly, and people hate them. And it's not a very Canadian way to buy houses, but it works. Boy, does it work. Trina, one of my coaching clients, she did bandit signs and she put them out, picked him up. She'd put him out on Friday night. She'd pick him up on Monday and got two phenomenal deals. No money down, no bank qualified deals that she still owns that have gone up in value about $250,000. And we started working together 3 years ago. Okay, so she's created that much wealth from putting out bandit signs in little old Lethbridge, Alberta. Okay, so it can work in Calgary, it can work in Edmonton, it can work in Kelowna. But yeah, you guys got to be aware that, again, bylaw might not like it, people might be angry, all kinds of things come out of the woodwork, and you just never know who you're going to help. So bandit signs, they're not that expensive. You have to put them out, but again, you could delegate that. You could hire high school students to make the bandit signs, put them out on Friday, pick them up on Sunday night because that's less likely for bylaw to get upset, and see what happens because those can be reused, right? So that's bandit signs. And again, we have a whole course. If you're part of the wholesaling course, it's absolutely included. Um, okay, pull tab signs. Oh my gosh, pull tab signs. They are so valuable. Okay, this is funny. I should have prepared one, but I didn't. This is my daughter's scholarship application form. So I'll just use the blank side. So use I buy houses cash. This is any area, any condition. And then you have pull tabs. Okay, so you do little things. This, yeah, my little blurry thing isn't working. But you put lines here, write the phone number, write the phone number, write the phone number. Again, you just never know. Somebody at a coffee shop sees your pull tab, just had a conversation with a neighbor who's like, don't know what we're gonna do with mom and dad. Uh, dad's got to go. They're ready to go into a home. The house is a mess. I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of the 86,000 figurines that mom collected since 1970. We're at a loss. Hey, I saw this. Used to do that 50 years ago with my mom. Danuja's, of course you did, Danuja. 50 years ago, you're out doing bandit signs. Good girl. Or pull tabs. Doesn't matter. But yeah, action taker. So pull tabs work. And you'll see them in coffee shops. Somebody's selling a motorcycle. Somebody's selling a lawnmower. Somebody's selling, I don't know, I've got motorized vehicles on my mind for some reason, but pull tabs work. Let's see what else. I've got a whole list here. Door knocking. Oh, that's scary. That's scary, folks. Nobody wants to do that. So here's what's great about it. You won't have any competition. And it's such good preparation for talking to people and reading people, having conversations, having something go sideways, and then being able to think about it and say, "Oh man, how could I have done that better so it wouldn't have been awkward. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm out walking with Megan Tomlin because I've joined for the Okanagan Real Estate Investment Group has joined forces with Property Guys. So we're out hanging door knocker things, which is another thing you can do. Okay, just to tell people about Property Guys. And there are a couple people out. So we're kind of circling this block. There was three people out. I went up to all three of them. Two of them took the flat, two of them took the door hanger. We hung the rest. The third guy was like, nah, nah. That's how he was. And I mean, I was super friendly. I was just like, hey, we're property guys. If you ever think of selling, or you know somebody who ever is thinking of selling and they want to make more money, then here's a door hanger. And he was kind of like, ugh. But the other two guys were like, great, thanks, appreciate it. It's okay, it's fine. It's good either way. You succeed or you learn. Okay, think of it that way. Okay, this one is it's time consuming, but it's cheap. It's basically free. You go on Facebook Marketplace and you look at for rent and you look for houses that are vacant and you call them up. You say, you have a house for rent? Yeah. Is it still vacant? Yeah. Would you ever think of selling? No. F off. That kind of thing can happen. Or, we were just talking about that today. Should we just sell? Because we've been hanging on to this thing vacant for a while and it is getting painful. You just never know. You just never know. The other thing you can do on Facebook Marketplace, again, is and join Facebook groups that are for sale by owner, um, specialized type groups. Go in there and call everybody that has a listing in there, especially the ones that have vacant pictures, because it probably means the house is empty. Therefore, at a minimum, they're paying for the utilities, the taxes, and probably a lot for insurance. Vacant house is really expensive on insurance. So, those are some of the suggestions that I have for you. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you. Did you say anything else? Oh, well, before I move on, any questions about that? Either one of you? Any one of you? And by the way, if you watch this recording and you have questions for me, just email them to me or yeah, just reply. Because if let's see, you could put a comment and wherever you see this, or if you see this on the email, then just reply or find me, send me a message, and yeah, happy to answer your question. And what's great is I can kind of build questions to our next Q&A, which is always on Wednesday. Keep that in mind. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you uh, the no fluff wholesaling course. So I just have to click a couple things away here before I share my screen. Thank you for your patience. Gotta remember how to share my screen. I narrate. Sometimes I narrate because I'm doing things. Okay, here it is. This is the no fluff wholesaling course. Okay. And just to point out, I'll navigate right back here. We have so many trainings available. This is in the OREG back office. So if you're a monthly member, whether digital or in person, you get access to a whole bunch of these courses, right? So this is the original Bandit sign course that I told you about. It's all about how to do Bandit signs. And it's insane how good it is. Um, like I said, we have people constantly getting deals when it comes to Bandit signs. It's not popular. Again, if you do something that's not very popular, then you're not going to have a lot of competition. So that's great. Going to the whole fluff, we call it the no fluff wholesaling course. Finding Motivated Sellers, Module 3. Okay, so there's about 25 and a half minutes of a slideshow that goes point by point by point, talks about a lot of the things that I just talked about. There's an audio option that you can use if you're just driving around, or if you're driving to work, working out, whatever. One of the ways that you could do wholesaling is if you go to get a property under contract, okay, you will probably need to provide some kind of, it's called an earnest money deposit to basically you need to have something. And I find in my own experience that between $500 and $1,000 will get somebody's attention and it'll make them feel like you really are taking this seriously. So we have a whole microloan script. If you have no money and you want to use somebody else's money in order to do these deposits, then you can. And there's a whole script on how you can do that. And it's a win-win for people because you you use somebody else's money for this, you get it back if you end up not completing the loan, and you pay somebody interest, whether the deal goes through or not. And that way that somebody else's money is growing. So that's a microloan script. These are the PowerPoint slides on where to find motivated sellers. Okay. So you just click on there and the whole PowerPoint go pops up and it gives you everything that is covered in the training. And then here is a flyer sample. I'm going to open it up. I hope you can see it. Give me a thumbs up if you can still see it. Can you see? Okay, good. So, hi, my name is Christine, and I'm looking to buy a house in the area. If you're thinking about selling, please call me. Christine's number. I'm not a realtor, and I can take on any cleaning or repairs. Like that could sound like a letter from heaven to some people, depending on where they're at in life, right? So that's as simple as it can be. And you can write this out once, send it to a printers, and have them make 1,000 duplicates. All right. And like I said, send a team of high school kids out there, 20 bucks an hour. Let's see, 200 houses. Let's say it's 200 houses. I bet a, a high schooler in good shape. I'm gonna ask Brendan his stats on that. But I bet a high schooler could deliver, depending on how big the houses are, right? Because some houses are really close together and some houses are like on an acre each. Um, 200, yeah, it might take quite a few hours. It might take 5 hours. Could be $100. Could be $400 if you got four guys doing it. $400, one deal. Oh, plus the cost of printing your flyers. One deal will take care of that pretty quick. Even if you assign the contract for $1,000. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then a script for a mortgage broker. So this is a good script to reach out to mortgage brokers or any kind of mortgage professional and let them know what you're doing because mortgage brokers are on the front lines when it comes to motivated sellers. Some motivated sellers, they reach out to a mortgage broker because it may be their last line of, hey, get me the heck out of this. We need to refinance this. I got a couple mortgages on it. What can we do? And a lot of mortgage brokers, unfortunately, have to say to people, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. Okay. I've had it said to me before. Really unpleasant. Um, I laugh about it now because it's funny now. Really unpleasant meeting with Peter Kinch back in 2007. And he was eating a Santa Fe salad. I cannot go to Earl's. I cannot order a Santa Fe salad. I don't like it if anybody else is eating one. He eats a salad that, me and my husband paid for, of course. We didn't mind doing that. He was trying to help us. Finishes the salad and he just says, listen, guys, I can't help you. But what you could do is you could go try to refinance all your portfolio. And that's what we went and did. And it was a tremendous learning experience. It didn't work, but it was a tremendous learning experience. So definitely grateful to Peter Kinch for that. Um, but I was a perfect example of somebody just like that. Okay. And we couldn't give these things away. So mortgage brokers are great people to reach out to. Just look up, for me, this is the actual script that I used when I first came to Kelowna because I was looking for motivated sellers. And I called this guy named Chris. And this is exactly what I said. And I wrote it out and I called as many mortgage brokers as I could get a hold of every single day. Finally got a hold of Chris, told him what I do. So I got your number from BC Mortgage Brokers Association. I'm a real estate investor and I'm always looking for great deals and ways to help people. Do you have time to talk to me today? Another way I like to say this is, did I catch you at a bad time? Okay. That I prefer that way actually, but hey, try both. No, you didn't catch me at a bad time. Awesome. How much time do you have? And however much time it is fine. Most of the people that I'm talking to in real estate these days in Kelowna, BC, because it's June of 2025, we are in a buyer's market, folks, and everybody's available because nobody's buying houses. So, so lately people have like, I've got all the time in the world. It's like, okay, I don't think I need that much time, maybe about 5 minutes, depending on how many questions you have. But if it's 2 minutes, I'm in a rush because you're talking to a realtor or a mortgage broker in Edmonton who have no time to talk to you. 2 minutes, perfect. So over the next 2 minutes, you're likely going to have some questions for me about who I am and how I help people. And I'm going to have some questions for you about people who may need to sell their house for various reasons. I want to make sure and show you how you and your clients can benefit working together with me. And at the end of the conversation, I'm hoping that we can see if we have a fit. If we don't, that is cool. There's no pressure here. On the other hand, if we have a fit, I just want to make sure we're clear on our next steps together. That is a upfront contract and it works beautifully, not just for mortgage brokers, but for anybody that you are trying to have a productive conversation with. And literally talking to Chris, he's like, wow, sounds interesting. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll keep in touch. He calls me 2 weeks later with help after talking to Glenn and Chris. His name was Chris and her name was Christine and Glenn up in Kamloops. And we helped them and they were tenants. They had a motivated seller landlord who was just like, we want out. We're tired of being landlords. And Chris and Glenn couldn't qualify for financing yet. We ended up turning it into a rent to own, buying it with partners, doing a tenant first strategy, which, by the way, is also in my library that I was just telling you about. Um, or it's not in the library yet. It'll be in the library soon. Anyway, this script, of course, it helped me. And it helped Pat and Elaine from Red Deer because they bought this house with me. And it helped Chris and Glenn because what they did was they worked really hard for the next 3 years to get their credit in shape, to get better jobs, to improve their income, and they were able to buy this house in Kamloops, this little house in Kamloops. And so it helped the seller because they were just like done. They weren't like destitute, but they were like, nah, if this doesn't work out, we're listing it. And I'm like, okay, right? And we used Chris, the mortgage broker, for the financing for Pat and Elaine, who were my partners. And Chris and Glenn used Chris, the realtor, to get their financing at the end of the deal. So Chris made two ends on the mortgage. We didn't use realtors because we didn't need to. So this stuff works, folks. I am telling you, and it's a lot of fun to help people. So that's all I wanted to show you about Module 3 in the wholesaling course. Reach out to me if you want more information about it. I would absolutely love to talk to you about it, and hopefully help you. Hopefully help you help people. So Any questions about any of that? Christine.
Just one question. I can't remember if Brendan mentioned something about when you're giving out a phone number. Do you get like a burner phone, a separate
That's good.
phone?
That's a really good question,
Yeah.
Christine. Not at first. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Like, you want to keep your budget skinny. There's just nothing
Right.
wrong with keeping a skinny budget. If you
Okay.
get inundated with phone calls and it's bugging you and it's becoming problematic, it's at that point you may want to consider getting a burner phone.
Okay.
But it's like,
Perfect.
nah, keep a shoestring as long as you possibly can.
Okay,
Because
cool.
where you want to focus your finances if you're gonna, if you're gonna spend money,
Hmm.
um, yeah, the phone number doesn't matter. Getting the flyer to the house matters.
Right.
And if it's gonna keep you up at night, okay, then get a burner phone. Or
Right.
they have technology these days where you can put up a phone number, but it gets forwarded to your phone and you can actually identify it as it's a motivated seller coming in, kind of label it. That's usually through a CRM. I talked about Paul,
Yeah.
he's my coach, my online marketing coach, and I've been with him for years. And I've learned so much from that guy. And you know what? Oh man, I really appreciate his transparency and he didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, was like, hey, yeah, I think it'll really work. Trying to run a motivated seller campaign with somebody that's just kind of starting out. He's like, you know what? No, I don't recommend it. And here's why. And then I'm like, you know what? You're right, Paul. Because Paul's a real estate investor too. So he gets this world. He's got a whole big portfolio up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. And so yeah, he he could have, like, it would have helped him to be running a motivated seller campaign. But at the end of the day, it was like we just, two sets of eyes on this and like, no, the best way is to start at the bottom. And
Mm.
you may not love the sound of that, but like I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And I may be wrong, and I'm open to that too. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yep, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else?
For me, no. Awesome, awesome.
News, yeah. How many properties you found yet in Kelowna? I think your sites are on Kelowna, ladies. Is that right? I know yours is, Christine.
We are, yeah,
Yeah,
we
we're
are,
we're doing it together.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. We're
Hmm.
on the search, on the prowl. No,
Good,
that's not the right
good.
word.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
awesome. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, anything else? Any other questions?
Not at the moment, but we will have.
Okay.
Not
So
not about
brace yourself.
wholesaling, I don't think, right? Yeah, yeah, brace yourself. Not about wholesaling.
No, not so much wholesaling, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
Hey, great. That's awesome. But if
yeah,
anybody if you want to explore further, if you want more information about the back office, there's just a ton of online training. Chances are, whatever you're struggling with, there's something there that'll help you. So my scheduling link is around here. Go to it. We'll have a conversation. Go from there.
excellent.
Okay. Well, if there's no more
Awesome,
questions,
Julie.
we're
Thank
going to
you.
sign off. Um, Anything else before I go?
Nope.
Before we go?
I will see you tomorrow, though.
Okay. Danusia, anything? No, thanks for being
No,
here,
I'm just,
girl. She's in
yeah,
Ontario time, folks. She's up late.
I am.
Yeah,
I
The
am.
girl, that's
she's working hard, this girl.
no,
I am. Today I got well, tomorrow I'm being inspected by the bylaw officer
oh,
and especially the fire department. Where I'm at right now in Tiny Township, it's the most complicated and most expensive STR licensing process in the whole country. And I'm proud to say I ace it every year. So that's, yeah,
Congratulations. That's awesome.
yeah.
Good for
So
you.
here's an example. I have another STR in Ottawa.
Yep.
So
So
that
for the folks
license
listening,
is
the civilians listening, STR stands for short-term
civilian
rental.
rental.
Oh, sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
that's okay. So by the way, I've been doing this before the acronym was even invented. Like really, I did the rip-off phone numbers 50 years ago with my mother.
Yeah.
So anyways, I have a short-term rental in Ottawa. The license is renewed every 2 years, and it's about $150. Okay, but also the bylaw officer, like they scrutinize like every speck of dust that's in every single thing, but that's okay. This license is 1,750 annual.
Right.
So
Yeah,
Wow.
it got
and today,
changed, huh?
yeah, well, it's the community that decided to, as the whole, decided to filter out the serious people and the not serious
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have a reputation. This is our original one, so they know that it's not a big deal for me. But the revenue beats the costs of the
Mm-hmm.
license. So as you said, Julie, the 400 whatever
Yeah.
dollars it takes to do the flyers and hiring the kids, in 2 months, it's quintupled, if not 10. So we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, so when's your inspection?
Tomorrow at 10 Eastern
Okay.
Standard.
All right. I'll pray for you. I'm sure you'll
Thank
ace
you.
it, but I'll pray for you anyway.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, ladies.
Thank you, Julie.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time.
Yep. And I'll
Bye,
see you
everybody.
tomorrow.
Next
Bye.
time. Bye.